Hi, first grade. Today in math, we are going to be taking all that we've been reviewing about place value and two-digit numbers, and we're going to be using all of that we've reviewed to help us solve some addition problems with two-digit numbers. Now, you probably remember hearing the word regroup or regrouping in class, and that's what we're actually going to be working on today. So if you remember when you would do calendar, and for every day of the school year, we would put one straw in the ones place. But once we got to 10 straws, we had to do something. Remember, we had to bundle. You might remember the song that goes with it. I won't sing it for you, but you might remember the song that we would put a rubber band around the 10 ones and we would move those 10 ones into the tens place. And that is regrouping. Regrouping is trading 10 ones for 110 or 110 for 10 ones. And sometimes with addition problems, and we'll learn with subtraction as well, you have to regroup certain problems. So we're going to take a look at an example. On the board here on the screen, I have 63 plus 8. And with my tens and ones blocks here, I have 6 tens and 3 ones, and that equals 63. Now, I want to add 8 to that. So I'm going to go ahead and drag 8 more ones to add to 63. And then see if you notice what happens and think about what we will have to do once I get all of the 8 ones. Okay, so if you notice, we have more than 10 ones, and that's a sign to us that we need to regroup. In our answer to 63 plus 8, we can't write 11 in the ones place. There can only be, one digit. We can't show that in the ones place. So what we have to do is regroup. And when we regroup, we're going to take 10 ones. See if I can get this lined up the right way. We're going to take the 10 ones and we're going to bundle or regroup them into 110. So I'm going to do that right now, and voila, now we have 110, and I can move that over to the tens place. Now, showing on the board is the answer to 63 plus 8. Now we have 7 tens and 1 1, which is 71. Now, remember that number because we're going to take a look at another way of solving problems like this, because you probably don't always have tens and ones blocks laying around to solve these problems. So we're going to take a look at how we can use this, how we can do this just using paper and pencil. So let's jump over here 1 second. Okay, so we just solved 63 plus 8 using the tens and ones blocks. But like I said, you might not always have tens and ones blocks laying around. And using paper and pencil is a more efficient way to solve these problems. So we're going to take a look at how we can solve that same problem using paper and pencil. Now this tens and ones work map might look familiar to you. We've worked on these in class a bit, but a little review. Here's our problem, 63 plus 8. Now, it's written sideways or horizontally, and we need to put it into the tens and ones work map. So I'm going to take our first number, 63, and I'm going to make sure that I get the 6 tens in the tens place, in the tens side, and the 3 ones. And then we're adding 8 to that number. Now, 8 is just a number in the ones. So I want to make sure that I line that up and I put the 8 in the ones place. Okay, so now I have the same problem just written vertically or up and down. And that makes it easier for me to solve it this way. So we start in the ones place and we add the ones. So we have 3 ones plus 8 ones. So think about those cubes that we just took a look at. When we added the 3 cubes, the 3 ones, and the 8 ones, that gave us 11. But we can't write 11 like that. Otherwise, it would give us a very different number, right, than what the actual answer is. So what we need to do is put the number of ones. So if we look at the number 11 right here, I think about the number of ones in the number 11 is 1. So I'm going to put that in the ones place. But now I have this 10. That's those 10 ones that we regrouped and we made it into the 110. I'm going to put that up here in this box so that now I can add the tens together. And I have the 110 that we regrouped plus the 6 tens that were already there, and that gives us 7 tens for an answer of 71. And that's what we saw when we looked at the cubes and we actually added the cubes together. So you're going to solve a few problems like this today where you'll see the equation written to the side, and then you're going to use your pen tool or your typing if you would like and fill in the tens and ones work mat and then add. So just a couple of tips. Always start in the ones place. You add the ones together. If the number is 10 or more, the answer to adding the ones is 10 or more, you know you have to regroup because you can't put that in the ones place. So however many ones are in the answer to adding the ones would go in the ones place. And then we take our 110 over here to the tens. Then just add the tens. Now, not every problem has to be regrouped. Some will, some won't. But the way you figure it out again is if when you add the ones together, if it is equal to 10 or more, that's when you have to regroup. So you'll have a few problems like that to practice. Just try your best. And whenever you're finished with your pages, just hit the check twice to submit. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. And remember, just try your best. I know I just said goodbye, but I wanted to show you one more quick thing before you go and complete your activity. If you are adding two-digit numbers, I just wanted to show you really quickly how to put that into the work mat and solve that problem. So here we have 45 plus 18. So I take my first number and I make sure that I line up the 4 tens go into the tens place, and then the 5 ones go into the ones place. And then with my second number, again, I take the 1 1 and I put that, I'm sorry, the 110 and I put that into the tens place. And then the 8 ones will go in the ones place. Okay, so just like when we added a 2-digit to a 1-digit number, you just make sure you line everything up and you put the tens in the tens and the ones in the ones. And now we can solve the problem. I add the ones first, 5 plus 8. I know that equals 13, and I can't write 13 in the ones place like this, so I know that I have to regroup. So if I just look at the number 13 over here, I see that there are 3 ones, which I will put in the ones place, and then the 110. So imagine those cubes being regrouped and being moved over to the tens. And now I can add all the tens, and you just have to remember to add, if you've regrouped, 1 plus 4 equals 5, plus 1 more equals 6. So the answer to 45 plus 18 is 63. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly show you with a 2-digit plus a 2-digit number. So I promise this time this is goodbye for today. So once you finish, just hit the check twice and have a great rest of your day. Try your best. Thanks.